Hey guys, welcome back to TimSum TV. Today we have a special guest for you guys today. Coming from Unprofessional Productions' latest project, Black, I give you guys Supachai.
What's up guys, how you doing?
So thank you for being here. I understand you are very, very busy, so I appreciate you taking the time to stop in and give us a little bit of a interview, kind of a breakdown for this new project you guys got coming up. Can you at first just introduce how you got into acting in general?
Funny story actually. So right when I turned 18, I got picked up by John Casablanca's modeling and talent career agency, and I went up there to be a model, and I found out they did the whole acting stuff too. So I was like, okay.
So you never went in there as an actor? You just kind of like try to get your foot into something?
Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy.
So I've never had any like classical training with acting or theater growing up. I mean, I did it back in elementary school, but everyone does. So. Yeah, I didn't do it through high school, and I guess people were like, "Oh, you're really good at this." So
So did you act in high school, like during like any plays, productions, anything like that? Nothing.
No.
But why was that? Were you just not interested back then, or?
No. It was definitely more academics than.
You're more like I gotta bulk it down. I can't take this time to learn these lines and get these like equations out.
Yeah.
See, I get that too. Like I said, I've said in all of them. I think you're the only person that I've interviewed right now that said they haven't had any acting or anything like in high school. Because like everyone else was like, oh yeah, I did this play, I did that play. It was like, I mean, honestly, that same thing with me. Honestly, I regret that. If I could go back in time, I would definitely love to go like in some of these productions. Like, what about you? Like, would you like back then, if you could go back, would you think about doing some of those productions as well? Like,
oh, definitely. If I could go back and like, I'd have plugged in from like day one as soon as I could. But like, it's crazy because this is my 5th project now with Black the Short. But on the past few ones, I'm working with all these actors who've been on like TV and have been doing acting and training and all this stuff for years. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I just started doing this like 2 years ago.
Exactly. It's so crazy. Like when you go on and say like, oh yeah, I was in this commercial, I was in like this like movie or something like that, and like, oh, I've studied for like years and years and years, and like, oh well, you know.
So I went to college for this. I was like,
it's like
I found you guys off of Facebook. Yeah.
So do you ever feel like intimidated then when you go to like in projects and like, and you see all these people with all these like accolades and credentials and all that stuff, and you're just there like kind of like self-taught almost, like basically at your craft?
Oh no, I don't. I think it's because like with everything that I've done, whether it be music, modeling, just anything that I pick up, like it's always self-taught. Like I have little to no classical training in anything, and so just acting is just another one of those things.
So is acting kind of like a true passion for you right now, or is that just something that you're delving into at this point?
It's definitely a passion. I really enjoy it, especially being able to be someone else on screen and all that good stuff. But like, just anything with the entertainment industry is something I'm really passionate about.
Well, you said you've done like a couple like screen films or like camera films and stuff like that. Have you ever done any production like on theater or stage or anything like that before?
No. I've thought about it. I've really wanted to get into like musical theater or just like in the theater in general.
Stuff,
But the last stage play I was in, I played a bear who painted with marmalade in elementary school.
So to be fair, that's not the worst thing that someone has told me they have done. If you guys check back at a previous episode, you'll understand the reference. But looking back now, you said you are a performer in all aspects. So you model, you act, and you're a singer-songwriter. Is that correct?
Yes.
So can you tell me a little about that? How did you get into that aspect, that musical aspect of your life?
Well, I guess I got this little first act guitar when I was like 7 years old, but I didn't really start taking it seriously until like right before high school. And I mean, I've never had lessons. I kind of just taught myself by ear and by watching like YouTube videos.
Okay, so like no one in your family was like musically like kind of like motivated you or taught you anything, like everything is just like you just picked up the instrument, just like that is a true thing though. A lot like these days, like YouTube and like all this like social media, like it's helped people like develop skills that they normally wouldn't have found. But like you're saying, YouTube helped you a lot by like learning you how to like do your chords and everything like that.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, I really like the sound of this song. Let me go watch some covers, and I do that. So I've been professionally doing music for about 1.5 years now. I guess people were like, "Oh, you sound really good," so I never stopped.
Yeah. So what kind of genre of music would you try to place yourself in if you had to?
That is a hard one because I make all genres of music ranging from pop to alternative to rock to hip hop, R&B. I sang on a gospel album and I have the physical copy of the CD in my car. So I would say world music because it captures everything that I do.
So do you have a particular band or artist or something that you kind of you try to model your sound after?
Not necessarily. I really enjoy Ed Sheeran, so I guess I could say that I draw some inspiration from him, but I'd say a little more alternative.
So like alternative wise, like what's the retrospect we're going like Fall Out Boy, or we're going more like more alternatives like Enemy on the Coast, something like that.
In high school I grew up listening to like My Chemical Romance. I was the My Chemical Romance to Panic at the Disco, and then Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veil kind of alternative.
So that's kind of cool. Like how did you even like get into like that? Was it just like the friends around you that got into that music, or how did you discover like your taste in music?
Really funny story actually. I grew up only being allowed to listen to Christian music. So by the time I hit high school, I was only listening to a band called Relient K.
Yeah.
And then my sister was like, "Hey, check this out." So I checked it out, and then I realized a lot of my friends were listening to the same thing. So we compare notes, compare songs, and it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of funny too, because I'm not gonna lie, like when I first like met you or anything, like I was like, oh my god, there's another Asian person down here in the South. But it's like,
right.
but for people who don't know, you are Thai, is that correct?
Yes, I was actually born in a little village in Udon Thani. So.
Oh, okay. So when did your family actually come to America?
Well, I was actually adopted. My sister and I, my blood sister and I, we were both adopted. We came here. We arrived in America, I believe, September 8th, 2001.
2001?
2001, yeah.
Damn. I'm not thinking about that. So you guys had just arrived right before that, like the disaster and everything, a couple days. Like, so, such a monumental moment, coupled with your personal moments of like, are you able to like remember anything from like those couple days just coming to America? Then a few days later, like just a huge natural tragedy, like worldwide tragedy occurred. Like were you conscious at that moment of what was going on? Were you just so young and too young to kind of?
I was definitely way too young.
Same thing with me. I kind of remembered like they let us out of school early, but I don't really remember that. But do you kind of remember anything about coming to America though? Like you guys arrived directly from Thailand. You guys probably like had like a layover like somewhere else. Then there's hours and hours of flights, right?
I believe when I left Thailand, we left from Bangkok.
Yeah.
So I was able to see a big city before I arrived in America, but everything was still different.
Yeah.
So I mean, I go back and I watch these childhood videos from like when my parents had come and like met me in Thailand in this village, and then I was like, oh my god, I literally grew up in a hut. And now I mean I'm here in America, and it's kind of
that's crazy though. So like your experience is so nuanced that like you've grown up, or you were born in another land, you grew up a certain way, but now you've kind of evolved into something that's completely different. Because like I said, you were born in a hut in Thailand, you came to like a Christian, like gospel living family, and now you're kind of more of an alternative singer, songwriter, actor, model, and everything like that. Like what that whole story arc right there, that is just like fascinating right there. Because like you can never imagine like someone growing up in a hut like near like the outskirts of Thailand, like coming here to America, like to the South no less, but like growing up in this kind of like life. Is this what you believed you would be like coming into high school, like freshman year or something like that?
No, actually, I have definitely changed a lot as a person, especially from freshman year. Like I look back and nobody recognizes my freshman pictures. I had like a shaved head, wire rim glasses, a really chubby face, and I wore like the stereotypical high watered jeans with the striped collared shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, what were your dreams or aspirations, like, say, 10 years ago as to what they are now? Like, have they changed at all?
Definitely. I never thought that I'd be doing entertainment professionally. I went through high school thinking I was going to be an electrical engineer or, like, a doctor. the stereotypical Asian things
exactly,
that our mothers would want us to be.
So when did it click or switch for you? Like, where your mentality is like, I don't want to do this. I want to sing. I want to act. I want to model. I want to do all these other things.
Well, actually, that stuff didn't come till after I turned 18.
So after you like when you were free.
Yeah, I drew a lot, so I was an artist as well growing up. So I thought, I'm gonna be an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer, and then I'm gonna be an artist on the side.
Yeah.
But then I started realizing I really enjoy singing. I really enjoy writing these songs. I got found by the agency, and it was like it just went straight from there.
So talk a little about that. How did the agency find you? How did that ball get rolling?
Well, there was a thing from Instagram. I was like, okay, so I'm seeing these models and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I was like, that looks really fun. Let me go ahead and click on this and see what happens. And then
so you literally just clicked that.
They ended up sending me an email because I had shown interest in it, and they asked me to come up for an audition. So I went up to Charlotte, and the rest is history. That was even before I had left my parents' house. I started modeling like from the moment I turned 18, and my parents didn't know till after I had already moved out that I was doing it.
So did they think that you were like about to go to school to be an electrical engineer, or did you?
No, I'd tell them like I'd be going to work.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd go up to Charlotte, and then I'd come back to Columbia around like, I just tell them I was going to work, and I'd just go.
See, I'm not gonna lie, that was almost the same exact way too. Like, I remember, like, even now, like, I really don't tell my family like what I do exactly, because like at this point I don't even know myself. But it's like, I don't know how you would try to explain it to like, because at this point, like, do they know now? Like,
oh yeah, they know now. Yeah, they definitely know.
How long did it take for them to realize that like you were serious about this? I'm
not gonna lie, they weren't very supportive.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't very supportive up until the past about year or so, when I was definitely pushing myself into this. Like, I was like, this is what I want to do.
You gotta fully commit.
And I had to show them that I was like, I could do it.
Yeah,
I could do it. Because, I get it. Everyone in this day and age, everyone has a camera. Everyone has a YouTube channel. Everyone can sing.
Yeah.
Get their 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Snapchat, everywhere.
And I mean, the whole starving artist thing, I see it all the time. But I mean, I make really good money from this. So I guess my parents are actually really supportive of me now. Like, I hope I can keep making them proud through all this stuff.
I mean, that's crazy though, because I don't know who said it, but there was once a quote was like, if you read the right book at the right time, you'd be a completely different person. But like that's so true for you though. Like, if do you ever think about, like, looking back, if you never saw that ad or you never went on that Instagram that day or something like that, like, that your life would be completely different from what it is right now?
I'd probably be in college hating my life. Yeah.
But like I said, that is incredible. Like I said, your journey, when I heard about you, I was like, I read your name, Supachai. I thought it was like a stage name, so I didn't know you were actually Asian. And then they told me, oh yeah, he's Thai. It's like, wow, man, he's calling me flabbergasted. Because like being lost down south as well, I like rarely see anyone even of Asian ethnicity, let alone someone like right next to my country.
Right.
So like I said, that's a first too as well. But talk about what kind of projects have you worked on before? You said you've been in some like 5 other kind of like film production stuff like that.
Yeah. So my very first film project was a very short film. It was my Annabelle creation project. So it was entered in a competition for the Annabelle doll.
Oh, like from like the Conjuring. That's
like that genre.
Oh,
it was entered in a contest, and it was actually a photographer that I worked with. His name was Brandon Waller, and he asked me, "Hey, do you want to come try reading a line in this?" So I went and read a line, and I played a troubled teen in a wayward home. And it's kind of stuck that way, that I've been kind of typecast as a troubled character, troubled teen, troubled youth.
Yeah.
So troubled teen in a wayward home, first movie. Second movie that I actually got my first IMDb credit from, Vampire Psychedelicus by the director Christopher Bickel. He's actually local here. I played a hippie named Michael, and I go into the woods. This is set in the 70s.
I'll see that, and I swear to God, like you said that wasn't your voice that they dubbed over, or was it
yeah, no, they dubbed over my voice.
Because I was saying like if that, because when I saw that, when I first heard about you, was like, Like, get him right now. If he has a British accent like that, get him right now.
Yeah, I actually worked really hard on doing a British accent. Like I watched videos, I practiced. Like I would go to work, I would spend like 3 weeks just speaking in a British accent.
Yeah.
One of the tricks they told me was to keep a hard candy on my tongue and press it up to the roof of my mouth. And you talk in a British accent, you talk like this. And it was actually, it's quite disappointing actually to see them dub over my voice, especially after I'd worked so hard. And it was, I mean, I don't want to say it's the most convincing British accent, but
it was like, you worked hard on it, right?
Yeah.
So how long? You said you worked for 3 weeks on the accent itself?
3 weeks. When I found out that I had the role and they wanted me to have a British accent, before I even had the role, when they said that having a British accent or being able to do a British accent would be a plus for the audition, is when I was like, okay, I got this.
So is that the first time you tried to like master an accent for a certain role or something like that?
Yeah, definitely the first time I've ever had an accent in a role.
Dang. So altogether, like how would you say that? Like, would you be willing to do like different accents, like in the future roles, like French, German, like maybe like Chinese, something like that, like other?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, as I'm furthering my career in acting, I definitely want roles that'll challenge me. So having to do an accent is challenging.
Are you ever nervous though, like when you do an accent or something like that you're like, you have like, not only that has to be convincing, but like if like another British person or something like, oh, like you don't want to be the next Dick Van Dyke in a Mary Poppins.
Oh,
like,
God,
yeah. Like the worst accent.
That's not a British. I don't want to offend somebody with my horrible accent. Yeah.
But are you ever conscious of that when you're trying to master it? Like, where that just like motivates you a little bit more to like, I gotta do this right, otherwise like I'll be like a meme or something like that.
Definitely, while I'm practicing, it is always on my mind. But when it comes right down to it, when I read the line, when I'm on camera, it just flows. It doesn't. Yeah. There's no nervousness.
So like, what is your training regimen when you're doing like, like for the British accent? What were you doing like to try to master? You said you had like a lozenge or a hard candy.
Yeah, and I would just press it to the roof of my mouth sometimes, and to like stretch out my vocals, and I would listen to podcasts like on end, like it was like over and over again, just say can't, and it was like different words. It would just say them over and over again, different ways, and that's just how I practice.
So do you have any like pro tips or kind of if like anyone who's trying to do it like an accent, like what would you give someone as like an advice if they're trying to learn like a new accent?
Don't do what I did. I watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts. I would suggest probably trying to find like a actual like
authentic like
teacher, like a vocal teacher, someone who could.
But you said you're self-taught though, right? So like you've never had any like formal classical training or anything like that. So like everything, like I said, like this YouTube generation, like we're learning like as we go at this point. Like it's kind of crazy though if you think about it, like 10 years ago, like before all like the social media blew up, like how people had to like train back then. Like now we're like we have all this information at our like fingertips. Like living in today's day and age where like social media is like a buzz now. What do you think like the next, because like YouTube is fairly about 12 years old now. I think it's launched back in 2006. Thinking about like what the next 10 years is, where do you think that the industry itself is? Like, do you think we're living in a bubble where it's just gonna crash right after this, or do you think it's still gonna like elevate even further than what we even think it is?
That is a hard, especially with everything that's going on in the entertainment world right now. I feel like there is going to be a major wake-up call for a lot of people. It's not going to be as easy as it is now, especially with all the problematic issues that we're having in entertainment and Hollywood.
The culture of itself is just like, it's gotten so crazy. Like now we have like the Harvey Weinstein, we got the Me Too movement. It's so much
surviving R. Kelly,
exactly.
Stuff like that,
It's so much more than acting and performing now. Like there's so much like politics, basically what goes on in the industry. So like, are you like encouraged by what you're saying? Or are you kind of like worried about what's gonna happen like moving on in the future? Because like you said, this is your career now. This is the path you're choosing for like the next decade, hopefully.
Personally, I am not worried because I know the kind of person I am. I'm not definitely not a Harvey Weinstein. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody were gonna try to go back 7 years and try to dig up something that I said that might be labeled problematic on my Twitter, they just find some really depressing song lyrics. Like, I've never.
Were you ever conscious of that? Like back then, like worried about anything that you did in the past? Like someone could just come back and bring it up. Like even stuff that you even forgot about. Or made like a video with friends that like you just forgot about, like something that like, because they will go back, like they are like forensic scientists. Like, they'll stretch back anything. Like the second you get a little bit of fame, they'll go back like, well, he said this, he did that.
Well, nothing along like the lines of being racist or like misogynistic, anything like. But there is one thing that's always on the back of my mind that like I'm terrified will come back to haunt me if I actually like blow up is. I was in high school. I think I was like a junior, and that was when I had hit the peak of my alternative phase. Where, you know, I had the swooshy hair, I had like all black, blah blah blah. But I had put a picture on Instagram with a filter with a friend, and the filter made our hair rainbow colored, and that made it on the Cringe channel. So I mean, if this podcast like actually shows up whenever I get famous or whatever, like yeah, I'm on the Cringe channel, guys.
But speaking of that, like in this industry, like, do you ever feel like it's kind of hard because in this industry we have like so little like Asian representation? Like who are we really going to like supposed to look up to like in this kind of industry? Like not only as like an actor but like singer songwriters like in the American or Western kind of like culture.
It is wild. I read something, and I know you're not supposed to believe everything you read on the internet. Don't quote me on this statistic, but there's like less than 8% of representation for Asians in Hollywood right now. And I actually saw a meme circulating on Facebook and social media. It was like there were only 4 Asians that anybody recognizes in Hollywood. That's Jackie Chan, what's his name, Jet Li, Bruce Lee, and that what's his name, Ken something.
Ken.
He was from The Hangover.
Yeah, Ken Jeong. Yeah. And like 1/4 of them are already dead. So like,
right.
I mean,
so
what do we have to hang our hats on?
Yeah, I kind of want to make it not just for myself. I'm definitely not really doing this for the fame. I mean, I could get famous, I could not, and it won't matter to me. I'm just doing it because I really enjoy it, and I feel like the emotions that I express through the acting or the lyrics that I write when I make music, when I create music or any of my art, it's just a message there that I'm trying to send to other people.
So are you ever deterred like during some like auditions or roles, or like where you ever like come across like you're good for it but like they don't see you as that role, you know? You ever get that kind of like they can't pitch you in the role of a certain person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever fear that stigma is gonna be like projected, like when you get like denied a role or they say no to something? Is that ever like way in the back like maybe if like I look differently I'd get this role or something?
Definitely, especially because I'm short. I'm only 5'4", so there's a lot of things that are stunted for me there. My skin is a little darker. Even for Asians, there's definitely a sense of like colors.
Right, at least you're not Cambodian.
Yeah, right. But like I'm darker in color. My face isn't narrow with the cheekbone. Like the
jawline has to be perfect. Yeah. But like, like that, it's hard enough with like acting, but like you're in the music industry as well. Like, how hard is that? Because like at least you have Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and all that. But like, who do we really have as like a singer songwriter in America right now? Like, we barely have any rappers that are Asian. Like, let alone like people who are actually just singers and stuff. Like how hard is it right now? Like, if when you get booked for a gig or something like that, when they're trying to promote you, like, are you feeling like there's kind of like you're underrepresented when they say like, oh, and this guy named Supachai or something like that? Do you ever feel like they don't take you as seriously as a musician because you're Asian or anything like that? I
actually, to be honest, locally, I feel like it actually creates more buzz because they've never heard a name like Supachai. They've never seen someone like me on the stage. It's like, oh my god, But he sounds just like someone else they'd expect to hear on the radio. Well, I wouldn't say just like someone else on the radio.
Are you trying to mimic what's current right now? Or are you trying to like trying to do your own stuff, because like it's a tightrope. You have to give them something familiar that they'll want to listen to, but you also have to add something else so that you're just not lost in the shuffle, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to, when I create music, I try to write something that I've never heard before, and I know that's almost impossible. Yeah. So I try not to think about it too much, but for the most part, like just a sound that really hasn't been done before. That's been mainstream. Because I mean, the sound might have been done before, but it hasn't hit the mainstream. Yeah. So speaking of what, as you guys are watching the video, you guys are probably listening to the song in the background. I believe it's Alessandra. Is how you pronounce the song? Alessandra. Yeah.
So that one just released a couple days ago. Can you talk to me a little bit about that song, about your process of writing that song and how it goes on? Like, what's your kind of like strategy or formula of how you write a song or anything like that?
When I write a song, there's no strategy. I could have the idea in my head for 3 years. Like with Alessandra now, I had a friend, she was my best friend back when I was in high school, and we would always spend the weekends like downtown Columbia together. We just go run around, have coffee, sing in front of the state house. Yeah. Stuff like that, just have a lot of fun. And
so you would like busk in like Columbia, stuff like that, or?
Not necessarily busking. It was just like sitting like in the grass and just playing.
Yeah, okay.
Because we enjoyed singing.
Yeah.
And the mentality. Okay, so there's two different things with this song, Alessandra. There's a feeling. So there's the nostalgia part where I'm looking back on the character Alessandra. We're gonna call her the character Alessandra. So we don't talk like that anymore. But yeah. No, so I told her I would write her a song back then, and the idea was in my head all the way up until right at the end of 2016.
So that's when we finished.
When the song was finished.
Okay.
And it took me 2 years, because I'm a perfectionist, to go through 4 different studios to finally have this finished product that I was like, okay, I'm never going to be happy regardless, so I might as well just go ahead and get this out of the way. But the writing process was, I literally sat down because I had this in my head, and I pressed record on my iPhone, and I sang. I played the guitar and I sang very slowly, and everything that came out of my mouth became a demo. I had about like a little over 2 minutes of a demo, and then after that I went back and I sat down and I tweaked things, and I added another verse, and I changed up some of the chord progression, and the song Alessandra was born. And the second part, outside of nostalgia of being able to spend time with someone you truly care about, was there's a sense for all artists, especially in a town like Columbia, South Carolina, where you feel you're stuck here. Because you feel like, I mean, the world is bigger than just here in Columbia, but it is very easy to feel like you get stuck here and you're never going to move on past here. So that's the part of the chorus goes, is it enough just to pray for the world when this busy little city is all we've ever known?
Yeah, I've noticed that. I love that chorus part, because it's like you're opening up and like you're in a coffee shop, right? Or you mentioned like getting coffee with this person. Like the Alessandra, is that just a name you made up for the song itself, or is it?
That is actually the name of my friend. Her full
name. So, So that's awesome though. So you made that song even despite all of that stuff. But you said it took 3 years to make now, or?
Yeah.
About 3 years?
About 3 years.
So you said you spent about 3 years on Alessandra. Are you ever afraid of the day where, like, if you ever do make it, like, you won't be given 3 years to make your next, like, you'll be, like the turnaround will be, like, 2 months at most or something like that. Are you ever afraid of that kind of pressure being put on you?
I'm not going to lie. It has crossed my mind a couple times, because the whole thing is you have forever to drop your first album.
Yeah.
But you only have 6 months
for your next one.
To do the next one. But at the same time, I know that I'm not doing this for the fame.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because these are messages that I'm writing. These are thoughts. These are feelings that I'm putting time into, and you can't really rush.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something like that. So.
Because when you say that, it brings to mind like artists like I don't know if you remember Frank Ocean or. Gautier, do you know who he is? Like, I remember he came out that album, I think Mirrors or something like that, and he had that huge song to somebody that I used to know, and it was breaking records everywhere. But that was like 2001, and like 9 years later, he still hasn't released anything. And the reason why he's saying is because like he's just busy focusing on other stuff that he wants to do. Like they said, like he was on top of the world, and then he just let it go at that point because he didn't feel like writing anything else at that point. Like, are you kind of like, and that's cut from that same kind of cloth? Like, you'll write what you want when you want. Like, you don't feel the pressure from like everyone else. Like, if Alessandra becomes like this huge this huge single that everyone wants more, but you're not feeling it. Like, are you okay with just walking away at that point, like just letting yourself breathe to like write something else?
Okay, yes and no to that question. I definitely don't really feel, I feel a little bit of pressure. Like I can't lie. Like, yeah, like I might lose some fans from this if I don't keep pumping out music. But at the same time,
like you need more content.
Yeah, like I said, you can't rush things like that. And I'm focused on so many other things. Like I wanna act. Yeah. You know, I wanna be able to model. And I'm constantly writing music. I was kind of doing this thing where I watched this interview with Ed Sheeran, back to being like one of my favorite artists out there right now. He does this thing where he writes at least one song a day. And you could write 1,000 songs and only have 2 good songs, but at the end of the day, you still have 2 good songs. Yeah. And I am constantly writing songs. And my songwriting process is never, I have to sit down and be like, okay, I have this idea in my head. Now I have to sit down for the next 8 hours and write it out. It's no, I get this idea, I pin it up. Yeah. If all of a sudden I'm hit with some inspiration, like the same way with Alessandra, where I had the idea for a year, and then all of a sudden one day in 2016, I sat down and pressed play and wrote an entire song, and then took another 2 years to go through studios to finish it. That's how it is for me. I'll have an idea and I'll pin it up. Yeah. And then later, I finally have the inspiration. Or sometimes I'll just be like sitting there, no idea at all what I'm gonna write, and all of a sudden it's just I start with a word and then just go from there. That's interesting because like a lot of people will do that too. Like a lot of people will start to lose their passion. Like for instance, like it took you 3 years to make that single. Like imagine if someone else in that position, they had a great idea, but they just weren't going anywhere with it. And they kept lingering, and then all of a sudden they just lose interest and they just try to move on to something next. Like, how do you kind of feel like, with like, especially with today's like ADHD kind of society, where they want that instant gratification. Like, I want to make this song, I want to make it now, I want to put it up, I want to get all these views, I want to get all these fans right now. Like, how do you feel about people who just won't really work and they won't refine it? They just want to make it and release it, and like kind of that. Like, do you ever kind of feel like that's kind of like the mode that people are in nowadays, like creators? Like they want to make, and then like, you know, refine like maybe 1 or 2 things every once in a while. It's all content, no quality with this. Everyone's doing the same thing at this point. And honestly, all I have to say is like I said, you have no quality. If you're in this and all you want to do is be famous, if you want to start this week and be famous automatically, you're not doing this for the right reason. You shouldn't do this. And like I said before, I'm not in this for the fame. I'm not in this for the money. I love all the fans that I have, and I will love all the fans that I will get. But I don't want to say I'm not doing this for them, because I mean, obviously, I want to make them happy. But at the same time, I'm gonna be happy doing this regardless of whether they're here with me. Or not. I think Donald Glover, he had one of his great lines in one of his songs. He's like, "I just make the stuff that I would have liked, reference things I would have watched, reference girls I want to bite." So like that's his whole thing, like how his creation was. Like he just like between like his shows, his music, like everything. He said he'd always write what he would have wanted to watch, or what he would have wanted to like listen to, stuff like that. Are you that kind of same way? Like are you writing stuff that you personally want to watch, you want to listen to, you want to do, like, or something like that? Is that kind of always in your head, or are you more for like maybe this is what they'll like, maybe this will work, you know? I don't really think about what other people are gonna like when I create. The creative process is definitely different for everybody, but when I do it, it's for me. If I'm writing a song, it's for me. It's because that's how I'm feeling. If I see a role that I really like, it's because I can connect with that role. Like with this Ezra and the whole Survivors Guild being like a parent friend, I definitely connected with that. So yeah, you can't think about what other people are gonna like, because I'm already a perfectionist. I'm so hard on myself. If I added what other people thought about my stuff, you'd be stuck forever, like trying to fix everything. The song wouldn't even be coming out. We wouldn't even get past the chorus. Right. But so that's another kind of interesting thing. You're saying that
the way that your process of going about creating what you want, you're not focused about what the audience want. You're just hoping what you like. But do you ever see your changes as you progress? Like maybe like a song that you made like a couple years ago, you're not into that song anymore because you're on to something else. Do you feel like a consistent style of what you're liking so far, or have you noticed like any changes or fluctuations in what you're currently feeling or what you're currently going through or anything like that? Does that affect how you're writing your songs or creating your music or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there's definitely been an evolution in myself as an artist, and I feel like evolution as entertainment is necessary. You gotta flow with the times, and but at the same time you gotta stay true to yourself. You can't like
how do you balance that, like staying true to yourself but always trying to like progress yourself like further and further without losing who you really were?
I mean, like I found this binder full of some really emo songs that I had written back in high school.
Like,
and I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I wrote this. As opposed to now I'm singing about, back then I was singing about like, oh my god, like I hate the world and everyone's against me and my life is a nightmare. And now I'm writing about nostalgia and feeling stuck in this town, you know. And the messages
like they're completely different.
Back then was very shallow. That was back when I first started writing, you know. And now it's more in depth. It's more genuine feeling.
So like, what do you think your progression is gonna be like say in another 5 or 10 years? Like where do you think you're heading towards? Do you think because like when you found that binder, was that from like what, like 5, 10 years ago?
That was from freshman and sophomore year of high school.
All right, so it's a couple of years since then. So are you ever worried about the progression you're gonna be making forward again? Like, are you gonna look back at your songs now and be like, oh my god, what am I writing about like now? Like staying in the town, or like when you're like next year talking about like maybe you're into like writing love songs or ballads or stuff like that? Like, I
mean, like I write whatever I'm feeling at the moment, and I listen to Alessandra daily, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I wrote this song. Why would I write this? It's just so sappy, like stuff like that. Like I'm always going to look back on what I've done because I'm just so hard on myself.
It's like a time capsule, right? Like going back and rediscovering what you liked. Like even if there was cringeworthy, like back then you're like, what? I mean, like. That's so fascinating, like looking back at your old stuff. Like, do you ever watch any of your old films and watch how you were acting earlier to that as you are now and stuff like that too?
Oh man, actually no, because all of my films have been in the year 2018. They have all 5 projects have all.
So you're just like fresh right out of the scene,
I'm
right?
Fresh right out of the scene, yeah.
Damn. But yeah. But do you ever want to go back and like look at your old films, like just like take all of them that you have right now, just run right through them, just take a look?
Believe it or not, I hate seeing myself on camera. I hate seeing myself in pictures, and I hate hearing myself on audios, which is really weird because you're an actor, I'm a model, and I'm a singer. So
I feel like
all 3 of those
you're
things.
in the wrong area right now.
I don't like going back to watch myself. Like I will if someone puts it on, or if I scroll past it and it's right there, or like right when it comes out, when Vampires came out, I went back and I watched it, but I haven't watched it since because I just hate seeing myself on screen so much. Alessandra, I'm listening to it every day because it is my first single. This is my baby. This is, you know, I need to make sure it is perfect because it needs to be perfect for me, not for anyone else. The whole reason, like with all entertainment, you should do it for you. Yeah. But you should do it in a way where you hope you can connect with other people, where other people can relate. Like when people listen to Alessandra, I want them to think, "Oh yeah, I really connect with that."
Yeah,
like,
I don't want to be here either.
This makes me feel like this is genuine. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So like with that song, like that reminiscent, like you're like stuck in the small town, you want to get out. Like, is that like that's your current feeling right now? Like yeah, you're down here. Are you ever like longing to go somewhere else, like rediscover like a new location, like New York, LA, Georgia, like somewhere?
Definitely. And it's hard because I don't want to go to LA, I don't want to go to New York, and I don't want to go to Atlanta because I've been in California, I've been in Atlanta, I haven't been in New York yet, but I can only imagine. They're huge. They're huge. Everybody goes there to make it. Yeah. I don't want to be the next person who goes to try to make it, you know what I'm talking about? If I can make it right here,
that's even better. Because do you think it's because like the social media age that we're in, you don't necessarily have to like uproot yourself. Like you don't have to go to LA, you don't have to go to New York. Because like you could show yourself to an audience of millions like from your living room, like in the middle of like Kansas or something like that? Like, do you think that's changed the mentality of like you can make it anywhere you want, you just have to have the determination drive of where you are right there? You believe in that, or are you like it still helps like the mentality like you spent all your savings to get to this place, you either gotta make it or you're gonna fail? Like, do you feel like some people will work better with that kind of like fire behind them, like this is your one shot right now, like you have to do whatever you can to make it?
Well, it really depends on the person. I personally don't think that you should put yourself in that position, because the pressure could be so great that some people might crack from it. If you spend all your savings to go to LA and you have nothing when you get there, and have nothing to get you back to where you came from, and your only hope is make it or
bust,
then you're gonna be so stressed out, you're gonna slip up, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, it's just not a healthy way to go about it. I feel like it's got to be slow, methodical steps. Like,
so do you feel like that's currently like what the Columbia scene, like arts wise, like with films, music, like do you feel like there's enough opportunities here for you to like make a name for yourself like locally, than to branch yourself out further than that?
Oh no. That's why I want to get out of Columbia. I want Charlotte would be a good place for me. That's not even too far away. Atlanta. The only reason I don't want to go to Atlanta or LA or New York is because everyone goes there, and also because the traffic's just bad. I mean, I don't want to deal with that on a daily basis. But this place is no place for creatives. There's so much talent here, and I believe there's talent everywhere to be found, but here there's no way to cultivate it. I mean, I've seen musicians,
like talented musicians, like
for a decade stuck here.
Because
like
second neutral,
it's very small here. I mean, everybody sees you. That's great. You get known here. What are you gonna do? That's it. Like, and I don't know.
You just like something a little bit bigger, like not, you don't want to get lost in the shuffle with everyone in the crowd, but you want to be somewhere where you can like
where there's more
cultivate
audience,
your talents,
where there's more people that can listen to my message.
So I could feel that. So you're saying like don't completely like gamble everything on like that one big shot, but like take steps. Like if you're in a small town, move to a city. If you're in a city, move to a metropolis, something like that. So just gradually work your way up. Like, so say if you go to Charlotte and you make it there, like, and you get like a bigger following, say they want to move you to like Virginia or like say like a Michigan or something, like a bigger city, and then once you make it there, like you'll gradually move yourself up, like naturally, right? You'll naturally get to the
if it happens in that way, if that's where this path takes me, then I will go. If it doesn't, I will continue to make what I want to make right here. Like, I could live my entire life here in Columbia, South Carolina, but as long as I can sing, as long as I can act, or as long as I can find jobs with things that I want to do, then I will be content. As long as I can, provide for myself. And
is that like, so what is your end game? What do you want to be known for most? Do you want to be known more for your music? Do you want to be known for your acting or modeling? Or what is your end game by the next 5 or 10 years?
I don't really have an end game as far as that goes. I don't like to think too far in the future because it's always changing, and like I've been going through a lot of major life changes recently, and there's things that I never expected to happen. I never expected to be here. I never expected to be on my 5th project, dropping my first single, and have like photo shoots. You know what I'm talking about? Like so I don't like to think too far in advance, like 5-10 years from now. But if I had to say, I don't want people to remember me for my music or for how I acted on screen or like for how good pictures I took, but I want people to remember me for the message that I sent through the music. I want people to remember me for the emotions that I convey on screen, or just my personality through my mediums. So like that's cool. So you have so many mediums that you're expressing yourself through. Like, are you able to describe like the different feelings you get when you're acting compared to when you're performing in front of like an audience, like one of your songs or anything like that? Like, is there a big difference between like the emotions you feel during each one, or? There's definitely a difference there. When I'm performing, I like to say I'm a little more charismatic while I'm acting, because there's definitely a wider range of emotion.
Yeah.
I believe I am at my truest form when I'm performing with the guitar and while I'm singing, because I kind of lose myself in the music. I don't think about the crowd. Half the time my eyes are closed. It's just me and my guitar at that point, and I'm singing. I never sing a song unless I connect with it. If it doesn't sound like something I would sing, I'm not gonna sing it. So I'm not gonna sing friggin' like, I love Hootie and the Blowfish, but I'm not gonna sing. I wanna be with you. I'm not gonna sing Wagon Wheel because it doesn't sound like something I would sing, but I would sing Let It Cry.
Yeah.
Or like, just if it's a song
that connects with you,
connects with me, I will sing it. If it's a song that I've written, I already know that it has all my genuine feeling in it, so I'm gonna sing it. And that is when I'm at my purest form, is when I'm performing.
Are you ever, like, I know that you perform like covers as well along with your original material, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you ever more nervous when you're performing your own material as compared to like those covers? Nothing like that?
Oh, no.
Do you try to give it a little bit more though when you're doing your own songs or something like that, or just something to like make it like oh wow, I really like that song. I wonder who sang that song. I was like, it was me.
That's exactly how I do it. I don't try to outdo myself when I'm singing my own song.
Yeah.
I sing every song
as if it was
the last song I was ever gonna sing.
Yeah.
And that way, I don't make a big deal like, oh, this is my single.
Yeah.
Like what I'm singing to you right now is something that I wrote. I sing it, and if somebody comes up to me after I get off stage, it's like, hey, I really enjoyed that song. Who's it by?
Yeah.
Oh, that's by me. Would you like to see a link? Like, yeah.
No, so like that's so crazy. Like, so recently, like you said, 2018, you did mostly all of your films and stuff like that. But like, because you're so like kind of new to it, like with all the modeling, singing, acting, like you're still drawing a little bit too, still, right? Or
a little bit, yeah.
So you like, a lot of people said like they hit a creative wall, or just like a struggle, like after they created so much. Like, are you feeling that you're nearing that point where it's like you're hitting that point where like creatively, like, oh god, like I gotta make another song, or I gotta remember these lines, I gotta do this other short, I gotta model this, like, do you ever feel like you're still kind of like not like breaking down, but like you're slowing down a little bit, your drive isn't like as what it was like in 2018?
No. I'm not gonna lie, I have hit creative walls. It'll
like fatigue and stuff like
it'll
that.
be months before I write another song. It's been almost half a year since I've written a new song.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely have ideas pinned up.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea for a song called Roses. That I have the chords, or at least the chords for a chorus. I have a melody that I hummed out. I did the same thing. I sat down, I pressed play, I played something out, and I hummed along to the guitar, and I was like, Roses. Stick that away for later. When I write it, I'll write it. But I haven't written anything new since Alessandra, because I've worked so hard on Alessandra to get it perfect for myself.
Do you ever see yourself like fatiguing from all these other things? Like, say you gotta you want to write another song, but you have to get like this shoot done for the short film, and then you gotta do a live performance at this bar or something like that. Like, you ever see yourself like just you're stretched too thin, then you have to work, you have to do like you have to take your me time too, you know, because like you can't just be performer 24/7. Like, you always gotta take personal time for yourself. Like, you ever see yourself like fatiguing from that in general?
I definitely do, because I work full time for a day job.
Yeah.
But a perfect example, this past holiday season, like during Christmas, I played 2 parties back to back.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday, 3-hour sets each of them, and that was back to back.
Yeah, man, we're supposed to be killing you, right?
And after that last party on the Friday, I got a call. Hey, I'd love if you come out to Sandhills and perform.
Yeah.
So I left that second party to go perform at another party for another hour and a half. And then after Friday, I went down to Soda City Market on Saturday morning and performed from 10 o'clock to 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Singing downtown at the market.
Yeah.
So I do definitely sometimes feel stretched out because when did we shoot Black?
I think we shot it like I'm really bad with dates, but it was like December. Was it December?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't say it. This is probably like the beginning of December, roughly around there. It's been a couple weeks now, but I mean, like you had that. You just did some.
But I just finished.
That too, yeah.
We had just finished shooting that, right?
Yeah.
And then we did and then I did the performances, and that's how it feels sometimes. Like before Black the Short, I appeared as Blue Boy in a short film called Blue.
Yeah.
And that was maybe a month before Black.
Yeah, exactly. So like you're running around like and plus like you're doing this all on like your off time because like I said you do have to like make a living yourself because like a lot of creators, musicians, actors, like you hear all the starving artists, but like you actually have to like feed yourself and like work to get like a living and stuff. Like what kind of advice would you give to people who are like trying to do like they're trying to balance their personal life, their professional life, their creative life, all that together? Like do you have any kind of advice or kind of tips that like to help you a little bit balance your complete life?
Well, luckily I actually make the equivalent of my day job from performances and entertainment. So I'm not worried about like on the money aspect about it because I know I can make. I mean, on a good day downtown, I'll make $120 on average in 3 hours. I made $400 from two parties.
Two parties, yeah.
Yeah, and then another $100 from another. But like, it's get your personal life down first.
Yeah. Get
your routine down, your day job. Like I still work full time, but I only work in the morning. That leaves me. I get home at 4 o'clock almost every day. Maybe a little after 4. Sometimes I get home at 5, but I still have from 5 o'clock until the end of the day to do what I want to do.
Either perform right or any of the projects you got right.
Get your personal life down first. Get your routine. Make sure that your money is straight. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of these artists that are starting out or have been doing this for a long time are throwing themselves completely into music and completely ignoring like the essentials. Like you still gotta work. You still gotta take care of yourself.
You still gotta see your loved ones, your family, like all that stuff too. I mean, to be honest, with all the stuff that you've done, like can you pick like out of all the projects that you, like films, shows, anything like that? Do you have any like kind of like bad memories or memories that like you kind of find funny that like maybe mishaps that may have happened during performances? Because I'll say you must perform. If you perform live, there's always got to be something that always messes up during one of your, like a performance or like a mic drop or.
I've actually never had a bad experience performing.
Not yet.
No, I have a 4-page resume from like shows that I played over the year, which is it's crazy because I've performed so much. I didn't think I performed that much till I went back and read my resume. I was like, oh my god, I have performed so much in this past year alone. But like, I can't think of a time where I was not. Like where it was a bad experience.
So can you remember like the best experience you ever had performing? Either like I said, either music, acting, anything like that. Just like a sense of feelings, like something that you felt that you don't think you'll ever feel again.
It's not something I'd never feel again. But there was this one time where I don't want to say I'm very well known. Because I'm not, but I'm starting to get recognized. People will come into my work and be like, "Wait a second, I know you."
Yeah.
It's like it's a great feeling. But there was this one time I was performing at this place called DeFuskey's. I don't think it's there anymore, but it was DeFuskey's on Main Street, and that was when I was really pushing myself, my brand. Like, this is who I am, guys. Like, come see me perform. Please come listen to me sing. I have things I want to convey through these songs. And one of those nights, they applauded me before I even got on stage.
Wow.
It was like, hey, where's Supachai? And I get up and it's just a round of applause. And it was a great feeling. I'm not saying like I'll never feel that again. I performed at I did the Wild Wings sing-off this past year. Where it's kind of like The Voice, but it's at Wild Wings and it's local, blah blah blah. But like I went through each round of that competition and the reactions from the crowd itself, and then from the online aspect, all the love that I got shown on because the Wild Wings would post a video of my performance. And I would get like
all the like the likes
upwards of 1,000.
Yeah, people are like, oh, wow, who's
1,000
this guy?
views on the video, all these likes, all these comments, people saying, hey, we think you should win, hey, like you're doing a great job. Like it's so great being able to like to know that I'm connecting with all these people.
Like you're getting like, it might not be the biggest recognition, but just some recognition. Like people are appreciating like all the hard work you put in, because like all those nights, all those days that you're working on a craft, and like to have no one appreciate that. Like say what you want, like I feel like everyone always wants like at least a little bit of it. Like I worked so hard on this. If even one person likes it besides yourself, like you feel like, all right, that's something then. So, but do you ever like you're not interested in like doing, like you said you did the sing off at the Wild, but are you interested in doing like any like other vocal contests like American Idol, The Voice, anything like that? Are you even interested in doing like competitions such as those, or are you just more like you're focusing on yourself right now?
The only thing that I've come close to being interested in is The Voice. I actually got a couple emails from them saying, hey, you should apply.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I read it and I have to go away for 8 months, and I think I read something about you didn't get paid unless you win, so there was like no stipend. Like
so just 8 months.
8 months. I gotta go away for 8 months. I gotta leave like, my dog behind. Like what? No, I can't do that. Yeah. So honestly, I'd rather just focus on myself. Because I mean, most of those shows are rigged anyway. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys are watching me, please don't be upset with me for saying that. I would still love to appear on your shows, but they're rigged anyway. From the most part, like with American Idol, you look at that, all you need is like a sob story. I've been living in my car for 5 months.
I hate that shit so much. But even with like 15 minutes of fame, like people say that'll be like a bad thing. Do you think that's a bad thing to have like 15 seconds of fame? Like if you got like 15 seconds of fame off maybe like a video or a song or something like that, like would you see that as a bad thing, or would you like hold that as an accomplishment?
Definitely a bad thing. I'd say it's a bad thing, because
you want it more than that. So like even if like you get like famous for like maybe just
because it'll go to your head. It'll go right to your head, and it will like devastate you. I don't know how I'd react to that. If I got famous, if I had my little viral video and then all of a sudden nobody.
You were say Alessandra became like a huge hit, but like you were like a one-hit wonder after that, and not, like everything else didn't really pan out. Like
it's like, hey, I have so much more that I want to give. Like I have so many more songs with so much emotion in them. Like I can't just have.
But do you ever think that like people were like, oh, we love Alessandra, we want more of that, but you're like, but I don't want to write that. Like do you ever feel like if someone ever put you in that position, like you got like contracted with like an actual studio, and like they said like, this song did really good, we want you to make songs like this, not what you're feeling, you know what I mean? Like
I couldn't do it. You can't tell me what to write about. It has to be what I want to write about. So
is that like always in your mind, like I'm sure you probably got like offers like, oh, hey, do you want to sign with us? Like we'll get you an album and everything like that. But then like always in the fine print, like we own your music. We'll release the music that we want to release from you, stuff like that. Like Definitely. Are you ever conscious with that? Like especially with this industry, like everyone's trying to sign. Like you're signed, but like you're owned basically by another studio now.
Exactly. I don't sign contracts anymore. Like I just don't. I like, hey, if you want me to feature on your song, you just pay me up front and I'll come and sing. But I don't want to sign anything for you. Yeah. Like I don't want to be a part. I've had so many people just talk so much smoke, and I have nothing to show for it. Yeah. I've had people who tell me, hey, I want to take you up to New York. Hey, I want to introduce you to some of these producers who like work with like Usher and stuff. Like they'll name drop. And they'll be like, hey, I want you to go on tour with me down through New Orleans. Or like, hey, I want to set a band behind you. Yeah. I want to give you a couple of concerts. I want you to do a couple of charity events. Like, I want to do a couple of interviews with you. Like, all this stuff. And I'm just like, at the time, I'm like, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. I'm not like overly excited about it. It sounds cool, I'll do it.
But it's just all talk at that point.
And it's all talk, and it's gotten to the point where somebody just like says something like that to me, I'm just, oh yeah, no, that sounds cool, dude. I'm gonna give you my card. Yeah. I stopped like going into in-depth conversations with these people. If they say something along those lines, like, hey, I got this guy.
Instant check out, like, no.
I will give you my card, and if someone contacts me, then and only then will I further pursue a conversation with you. But until then, like, okay, you just
it's so funny, like how like in like your music industry and acting industry, like everyone's always trying to like talk up their own brand and stuff like that. Like, yeah, man, we really like you're the next one. You're the next Ed Sheeran. You're the next Shawn Mendes. All that stuff. Like, we want you to set up a YouTube channel, get all this stuff. Like, everyone's always trying to push like the next thing. Like, you're not even interested in that. You just want to be the next you. Like, you want to be.
I don't want to be compared to anyone else.
Yeah, like you like Ed Sheeran. You don't want anyone to say, oh, he's like an Asian Ed Sheeran.
I mean, because if you listen to Alessandra, did you think Ed Sheeran?
Honestly, I didn't think that at all. Like, honestly, when I heard the song, I didn't even know that was you, because your singing voice is totally different from your speaking voice. Like, do you work on that at all? Like, because like your performing voice is so more like distinct. It's like sharp. Like, but when you're talking, you're like, oh yeah, like I could never have pictured you as a singer when I first met. It's only when you actually started performing, you were rapping. I was like, oh shit, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy because the singing aspect. I've been singing for so long, and I was not good when I started. I mean, nobody's good, but I was not good when I started. Like, horrible. But I just kept doing it, and finally, someone's like, "You sound really good." And at this point, like I'm still not happy with the way my voice sounds, but.
Well, I mean, like, so are you ever conscious of that though when you're singing or anything like that? Like when you're, because you said like you don't like watching yourself on film or listen to your own songs and stuff like that. Like, because a lot of people love that too. Like, there's an actress for you remember that movie Goodfellas? That it was like a mobster movie by like a Martin Scorsese, but like she was the female lead in that movie. That movie came out like 1990. To this day, she still has not seen the full movie. Like she's just not interested in watching herself on film. And like that, it's not like that you're ashamed of it. You always see flaws in your own self.
I am always seeing flaws, but yeah, no, like I forgot what I was gonna say. So now
no, it's no problem. So I mean, that's crazy. Like, so you're so subconscious as a performer, because like. You said yourself, you're your harshest critic. You're the person that's always gonna push you the furthest than anyone else. Even stuff like, oh yeah, that's a good song. You'll always hear something like, oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. Are you ever like that? Because you said you're a perfectionist too.
I am always like that. Like, the only reason Alessandra is coming out now is because I finally met someone who really connected with me as a producer, and he gave me some advice. He was just like, you know what, you're never gonna be happy with your finished product. No, like, you just gotta. If this sounds good. You just gotta go. You gotta do it.
So is that like any advice to like people who are like perfectionists like that? Like they want to hold on to something until they think it's perfect, when in reality like they'll just hold on to it until they're more self-assured about their own work and stuff. Like, do you have any advice for that? Like,
I actually got some great advice from my father actually. He said, because I mean he's obviously been around a lot longer than I have. He's seen all these artists. You can always re-release your product.
Yeah.
Or songs. You can always release a remix. You can always go back to the studio and rebrand. You can always, I don't want to say, if you're a perfectionist, perfect your craft. Like, don't rush it and then throw it out there and then go back and redo it.
Yeah.
Wait until you're almost happy with it. That's what I did. That's what I did. I was like, okay, this actually sounds good now. This sounds decent. I'm pleasantly surprised by it. Release it.
Release it
right then. But I mean, for the longest time, I was like, I don't like this. I was hopping from studio to studio, different producers. Like, no, this doesn't sound right. No, this isn't what I'm looking for. No. And finally, yeah. So you just gotta. Producers are like, I feel they are one of the more important parts of music. Yeah. If they don't connect with you, if all they're doing is pressing record and then copying and pasting, they're not producing. They're
not giving any aspect or anything like that.
This producer that I'm working with, his name is Cory Plaugh. He's local. He is an amazing producer. I recommend him to anybody who needs studio work. I really connected with him. He knew exactly. Like, Alessandra was a song that when we sat down and we laid out the click track, it was hard to play with it because it was different. Yeah. The way I wrote it. And then the way the chorus was played. And he managed to take we were in the studio for like 12 hours the final day of recording. But the first day of recording, we did like 6 takes of everything. 6 takes. And he took everything apart and pieced it back together in a way that
they took all the best parts of each of those and just
And it was a way, because I didn't tell him how to do it. He just did it, and I was like, hold on a second. I like that.
Yeah. So that the same thing happens too. Like not even like with you, but like with me and Andre when we're working on like films and stuff like that. Not even like film, but like during scripts. Like I remember sometimes if we're writing a film, like we'll both write 2 separate scripts. Like each, like I'll write one, he'll write one of the same story, and we'll just read it back to each other. And like a lot of times, like I'll be like, oh man, I really like that aspect you put on that character, and then like vice versa. So like it's always so good because like 2 people or even more people like would always have better input, especially like if someone, because a lot of people like especially artists are like really headstrong. They're like, I want it this way, I want that way. But when like you introduce someone that you could trust or something like that, who could add like input or like advice or something like that, you could always see it from a different like perspective of oh well, yeah, I could see how this way will go like that. So do you honestly believe in like people like musicians and artists stuff like that, if they're, because you know how closed off they are, especially like say like Alessandra, is that you keep that close to your chest because that's like your baby, your first single. Mm-hmm. Like were you ever hesitant to try to like let someone else give you some input on like the song and stuff, because especially knowing how close it is to you, like, and you don't want to really like let anyone else get like their ideas or input in that?
I was so careful with who I showed my music to. Yeah. I would never send the link to anyone. I would just say, if you want to hear it, we can sit down now. But like the Alessandra didn't even come out until after I had it, like, because after I had it copyrighted. Yeah. I seen all these artists, all these people
that lose like
throwing it out there on Apple, and they think that it's this huge accomplishment because they finally have a song on like Apple. iTunes or Spotify or something, but they don't get it copyrighted. Mm-hmm. They don't register it with BMI or ASCAP.
So it's a whole like process.
It's a whole process, and they're not doing this, or they're not getting royalties. If this plays on the radio, they're not getting paid for it. If people listen to the song, if they stream it through Apple Music and they listen to it over and over again, they're not getting paid for it. If a TV show wants to use their song because they didn't do all these steps, they're not getting paid for it. Yeah. So and I've seen all these people. I've had song ideas stolen from me. Yeah. And I don't want to name any names.
So. That's fine. It's fine. But that must suck though. Like having like an idea or a riff or like a lyric or something, just taking like how that. Honestly, that must be like so dejecting. Like, especially if like they take your idea, they make like, I don't know, like
you're not
cloud or like success from it.
If you take.
Like you're not searching for the long run.
You can draw inspiration from other people. Yeah. Always give credit where credit is due. You can always say, this song is inspired by so and so. This like I really enjoyed this John Legend song. This song that I wrote is inspired by this. Yeah. Like, so you gotta give credit where credit is due. But if you take from another artist, like blatantly just take it, just steal it, you are not an artist. You're a thief. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say on it. But like, oh god, it makes me so mad. I was so careful. Like I didn't show anyone. The only reason I sent it to you and Andre is because it's already copyrighted.
Yeah, it's already out there. So like, being you're more experienced as a musician than you say as like an actor at this point, though, right?
Definitely. So actually, I've been doing both for about the same amount of time.
But would you say you're more accomplished as an actor or a musician at this point? Like, what do you think people know you more for from your
music? Definitely music. Because I only have one single, but I performed all over the place. I've been in 5 movies, and only one of them has been released.
So like, what kind of advice would you give to like people like young musicians who are looking to like to get out there? Like what would be something that if you go back in time and like talk to yourself as like a freshman or senior in high school, like what kind of advice would you give yourself back then?
Take some lessons. If I had lessons, I would be so much further along than I am now. If I had
musical lessons or business lessons, which ones are we talking about?
Both. Go for it. Business lessons, know how to network, know how to promote yourself, all that good stuff. You need that. And honestly, I'm still figuring this stuff out myself, so I'm not really the best person to ask for advice.
You're farther than a lot of other people, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, maybe a little. It's all about perspective, but like, take lessons, vocal lessons, acting lessons, instruments. Take lessons for that. If I knew music theory, I would have written so many more songs by now because I would know how to create original sounding songs.
That's crazy though, because I just interviewed the last one I interviewed. They're going to school for musical theory itself, like, and they're saying it's just so hard. Like, there's like mathematics you have to like work into it as well, but it's like people who go like traditionally to learn about this in school, like it's no cakewalk as you think. Like, oh, we're just going to school to like listen to music. Like, there's so much work into it. Like, and a lot of people, like you said, that maybe you didn't have an interest early on, but like if you had the same interest back in like freshman year, like maybe you would have worked your whole like career around like I want to go to like a music college or something like that. Like, do you think that would have been a possibility?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I said before, I didn't know that this is what I was gonna do. Yeah. I thought I was gonna be like a pencil and paper artist, like charcoal and paints and stuff like that. And I didn't know I was gonna be a musician. I didn't know I was gonna be an actor. You know, I definitely didn't think I was gonna be a model with.
Like you tell your freshmen, like, yeah, you're gonna be a model.
Oh my god. It's man. One more piece of advice for people who are aspiring is network. You gotta network. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter if you talk with someone and you never get anywhere with them. Talk to everyone you can. Yeah. Get advice from everyone you can. That doesn't mean listen to all the advice that you get. It means take in the stuff that you can apply.
Yeah. So like almost with like a grain of salt, like kind of like hey, be realistic. Like, yeah, everyone's gonna tell you like, oh yeah, you gotta go out there, talk to everyone, play your songs to everyone like that. But like not everyone,
because not everyone likes the same things. So, yeah, exactly. Not everyone has the same taste. But still, with the networking, even if you don't get anywhere with these 4 people, this one person might get you somewhere. Yeah. And you might not keep those connections. I've met so many people in this industry. Most of them I don't even talk to anymore. Yeah. But because of these people that I met and I networked with that I don't talk to anymore, I met some of the greatest people in this industry that I know. Like some of these producers, Jelani with Studio 23. Mm-hmm. He's taken me under his wing. He's the one that's helped me with all my copywriting, all my BMI, you know.
That's another big thing a lot of artists need to learn too. Like you said, copywriting, right? That's
copywriting. It's actually, it was hard for me because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna get burnt out if you do this as much as I do. Like if this is your passion and you do this like 24/7,
exactly.
You're gonna get burnt out along with working a day job along with living your personal life.
Exactly.
When I finally sat down and started doing this, all the letters started swimming off the computer screen and I couldn't do it. So
because you had to teach yourself almost about all these like copyright rules and laws and stuff like that. Like, so like what kind of advice would you give them about that? Like how would they, like, say someone just wrote a new song and they want to release it, like give us a breakdown. What do they have to do?
Get help from a professional. get help from a professional. I called Jelani. I tried it by myself. Mm-hmm. I really did. Copyright.gov is the website I use for copywriting. Mm-hmm. I'm registered with BMI as an artist. They're free. BMI.com. It's not body mass index, I promise. It's for artists and creatives. Okay, so copyright.gov is where you go to copyright your song. Mm-hmm. You can do it the old-fashioned way where you mail it in.
Yeah. So what do you have to mail? What do you have to mail, like your demo or your song? Or
you gotta have your lyrics typed up, mm-hmm. and you gotta have like a CD or a flash drive with the MP3 or the WAV file on it, and you gotta
mail it to them.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mail it to them. I did everything online.
Yeah.
So I typed in as like a Word document. Yeah. And I did a Word document and a Google Drive document. Yeah. I typed in all the lyrics, and I put that in the copyright file. And I had the WAV file for Alessandra, and I put that in as well. It's really simple, step by step. You got to put down like who wrote it, when it was released, if you have a publishing company, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. And then you send it in, and it takes a couple of months, but yeah.
So like, can you just imagine trying to do that for an album with all your songs? Like you got like 20 songs on an album, and like you got to do that for.
No, the great thing is actually with this copyright is, I only have a single coming out. But if you have an album, if you have 15 songs on this album, you can do all 15 songs under one album.
All right, so I'm about to say, like, man, that must suck if you have like a Like it's like Drake got like 40 songs on an album or something like that.
Oh god, it costs money to do this.
How much does it like what is it
$55 for this one single. You guys have to be willing to invest in yourself. In the long run, $55 is not a lot of money.
Yeah, compared to like what you could make royalty wise, like if someone like steals your song or some shit like that.
Exactly.
So you really gotta like it's not something you only have to invest your time, but like your actual you gotta put your money where your mouth is basically. Like man, so with all that like encompassed, like are you currently like you're satisfied with where your career is currently right now? It's like let's say for instance,
oh god, is that my voice? Oh my god. That's my voice. It doesn't sound bad.
I've heard this song. I'm not gonna lie, I like this song, and I've listened to Alessandra. I can clearly hear like a growth between the two, like, and it's amazing like how you grow. Cause like, what was that video like about?
Oh
like,
man, it was like. What's the stamp on that video? 14 or 15? 2014 or 2015? Because that was so long ago.
Or 2015.
2015.
So it's about like 4 years ago, basically. It's so the way that you've grown from that to where you are now, like are you proud with the progress you pushed yourself? Because like back then, like how far were you into like your music career? Like
I wasn't performing yet. I didn't start performing until 2017.
To 2017. Like what was stopping you from performing like back then? Like were you just too nervous or?
No, nobody would give me a chance. Maybe I wasn't speaking to the right people.
Yeah.
But Columbia really isn't. I mean I've seen a lot more places open up now, like the White Mule. And places like I've seen open mics all over the place.
So that's another about like look for like people who are looking to like go out and perform. Like what kind of tips could you give them to like go like try to find a place to perform other than like busking and like.
It all heads back to networking.
Networking.
I got lucky. I met all the right people.
Yeah. How did you find those people? Like what do you do? Do you go like a certain events or do you?
No. My first show ever. Well, my first. I want to say because my first show ever was at New Brooklyn Tavern, and with New Brooklyn Tavern with dive bars like that, you gotta invite people. If you don't invite people,
so like just invite,
there's gonna be no one there, and you're not playing to anyone. You're just playing to your friends. So it's not really a real. I mean, I don't want to say it's not a real show. I'm not shitting on New Brooklyn Tavern. Like it's a good place. You know, I respect the musicians that are there. I respect the hustle, but like.
You want people that are close to you.
If I go and play a show. There have to be other people there who don't know.
Your friends will always like your music, but like, you know.
Yeah, my friends will always tell me, oh yeah, no, that sounds great.
Yeah.
They're never going to give me like a...
Like, I don't know if that song was like...
That wasn't it.
Yeah. So like, that's another thing too, like you gotta be like, as like a musician, you gotta be open to criticism though, right? Because like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, they're nervous to perform because they're always afraid of criticism. Not even like performing like in music, but like in acting and all that stuff. Like they're always like self-conscious, like, oh, what if they don't like it? Like, cause is that ever like a fear when you go to perform, like maybe your first performance or anything like that maybe they won't like your song, like, or they won't clap, or they won't really like they won't even pay attention to your singing? Are you ever afraid of that?
I don't have fear on this. I don't want to say I don't have fear. Sometimes I get really nervous. Like when I played at Wild Wings, the higher the stage is, the more nervous I get. I start to have. I don't want to say I'm nervous, but I have like a little panic attack. I'm high up on the stage, and I don't like heights because I'm short. But when I sing, when I perform, I get so lost in myself that I don't even pay attention to the audience.
It's like a higher euphoria that you're feeling, right? Like I was actually I was talking to another of your cast members, and they were talking about like when they're on stage, like she was a stage performer, and she's talking about like how she's so into the moment she doesn't even remember like half the time or half the things that she was doing during the performance. Are you like the same way? Like, are you just so into it that you don't even remember like how you like what you were performing, what you were doing like during that moment?
Oh, I definitely remember what I was performing because I get so into the song. Yeah, but it's gotten to the point where even though I'm so into the song, I still interact with the audience. Yeah. So I'll still make eye contact. I'll still give a little smirk. I'll still smile and still kind of sing to certain members of the audience. Like, but I still get lost in it to the point where I don't care if they don't. I care if they like it.
No, I get you. Like,
but in the moment, I don't care.
Like hindsight, you might care, but like not in that moment. You don't care if it's just you in a mirror.
And from what I've seen in all my shows, I've never had someone blatantly
boo you.
boo me. I've never been booed off stage. I've never had a boo.
Yeah. Do you think that like it is because you're in like in a smaller community where like it might not be as fun, but if you were to like LA or New York or some shit like where they have like a lot more snobby people, like if because up there like you go to New York and they don't like you, they'll let you know
you're gonna be out.
So do you think that because that could break a lot of people right there and then like oh shit like
take it on the chin. It's a part of the industry. Mm-hmm. You got to be prepared for it. I'm prepared for it. I expect it. I mean, I don't want to say like I don't want to say I expect the worst, but
you're like, hey babe, I'm getting ready to get booed.
I know it can happen, and if it happens, I need to be prepared because if I take it and I get angry at them, and I never fix what I've been doing wrong, then I'm never gonna grow as an artist. Yeah, cause like
so you said you've never been booed during a performance, right?
I've never been booed during a performance.
Can you imagine if you're performing though, like during the middle of a song, so like someone's like boo. Like change the art or something like that. Like if you had like facing that, like do you think in that moment you'd be able to hear like what they're saying or anything like that, like as loud as like that?
I'd hear it, and I would register after I finished.
So
I would change it up.
You gotta like just compartmentalize until you're done. Like you got a job right now, do that job, and then we'll work on it later, right?
And the only time where I've ever actually had criticism was actually my first show.
What was your first show? You said it was that New Tavern, right?
Okay, so I don't consider that my first show. Because like I said, you gotta invite people or just let me know when that. My very first show, the person who gave me a chance got me my first public show. His name is Joe Tucker. He's a phenomenal singer. Joe Tucker, and he performed with Cory Stevenson, who's another phenomenal guitar player, vocalist. And they comprised the Soda City Saints. If you want to look them up, but they're great. Joe met me because I met Joe through a producer that I worked with named Sam B. Mixing. And like I said, you gotta meet people because then through those people you meet other people. See, I met Bennie Black, who is a hip hop artist, who has his first single out called No Sleeping, if you guys want to check that out. But he introduced me to D Gutta. D Gutta is a producer who helped me actually get into the hip hop and R&B scene. Yeah.
Because you are a rapper as well, right?
I am a rapper as well. D Gutta moved away, so they sent me to Sam B. Mixing. Yeah. And Sam B. Mixing introduced me to Sam B. Mixing and his wife introduced me to Joe Tucker. And I didn't know Joe. Yeah. He didn't know me. So I texted him and I was like, "Hey, Sam and them sent me your way. Can you give me some advice or like what you got for me?" And so he was like, "Hey, can you come through?" I was like, "Right now?"
Right now.
Yeah. So luckily he happened to only live like 11 minutes away, so I went through with my guitar. Yeah. And he was like, "Okay, sing a song for me." I was like, so I sang a song for him.
Well, do you remember what song you sang to?
I sang "Thinking Out Loud" by Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. Oh, that's a good one.
And he told me I needed to work on my breathing. I needed, he's like, "Okay, you need to fix this."
Yeah, he's seeing like all the creatures.
So I was like, okay, I can definitely work on that.
You didn't take it personal though, right? Like
you can't take this
exactly. So like that's another thing. Like critique is
the
just
only time you can take criticism personal in this industry if someone just comes out and talks to you.
Like, that was terrible. No.
Not even. Because someone can just come up to you and be like, "I don't like that." Okay, that's fine. You don't like it, but they did. So I mean, I'm sorry you didn't like it.
It's like subjective, Yeah. Like
your taste is honestly, I can't think of a time unless you know that the person coming up to you is purposefully trying to like discourage you. Purposely like
people who are
I'm gonna come up to you and tell you you suck, not because you suck, but because
I don't like your hair,
or just I don't.
They call you emo.
Yeah, stuff like that. You look like a girl. I don't like your music.
Oh, okay.
I've never had that said to me.
But you'll take that as not as constructive as other.
Yeah, that's not constructive. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't take too many things personal. You're never gonna see that person again. Yeah. You got so many more shows ahead of you, like. So and then I went home. I didn't stay at Joe's for too long. Yeah. He gave me all these things I could work on as a performer. And he texted me. He's like, "Yo, I got the show on Thursday. It's up in Easley, South Carolina at the Hideout. Come and open for me and Cory." So I went and opened, and at that show, it was my first show performing to people I didn't know.
Yeah.
In a completely different town.
Yeah.
Like.
How long was your set?
I think I played 45 minutes by myself.
Damn. First performance, right?
It was my first performance. I performed 45 minutes by myself, opening up for them. And I mean, I got a $20 tip that night, like a $20 bill in the tip jar.
So you were just working only for tips at that point, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And gas money, obviously. Yeah, I think I got like $50 in the tip jar that night, but I had a $20 bill in the tip jar.
Damn.
And that was when I knew, like,
oh shit,
yeah, oh shit. But the one guy came up to me, and he was very nice about it. He said, "Hey," because I acknowledge that I play a lot of acoustic songs that could be slow, could be sad, a little depressing kind of stuff.
Were you playing mostly covers, or were you
covers?
Something?
I was definitely.
You didn't have any of your like original material written back then for?
I don't play my original material out unless it's copyrighted.
Yeah, okay.
Be careful with your product, guys. You gotta be careful.
Because everyone has a camcorder.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, you're kind of like bumming me out. Can you like play something? Upbeat?"
During your performance or after your?
Like in between songs.
Oh,
I just finished a song and I was flipping through my playlist because I have a playlist where it has all the songs that I know how to play, which is like 62 songs in total.
Damn.
And
how many songs do you know now?
62. 62 that I can play. I know so many songs that I can sing, but only 62 that I can play
with your guitar. Yeah, okay.
But I'm constantly learning new songs. I have a completely different playlist of songs that I learned.
Yeah.
But he's like, "You're kind of bumming me out. Can you play something a little more fun, a little more upbeat?"
Yeah. So what did you?
So
do?
I took that, and now my playlist it's not
more
just
varied, right?
It's not just sad.
Yeah.
Or slow songs. It's upbeat. I can go from Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
To Ed Sheeran, to Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
To freaking Blackstreet.
so like how do you vary your playlist nowadays? Like if you have a show, do you have like a certain playlist? Like, hey, this is probably like a New Year's party with all these drunk people, or hey, I have this show where it's like maybe like I don't know, like maybe more teenagers or something like that. Do you ever like vary your playlist for like the demographic you think it'd be playing at?
Yeah. Well, kind of a little bit. I have one playlist. It's called the set list, and that's every single song that I know. But my set list is comprised of songs that are popular.
Subcategories, yeah, like
in every genre. Chris Stapleton, Valerie by Amy Winehouse, Ed Sheeran.
Like some Christian music or something, if you go to a church or something.
See, I don't really know too much Christian music, but I should probably learn some just in case. I know Hallelujah. That is it. That is the only slightly religious song that I know.
Just play that 6 times over. They'll say, there we go. But like that's so crazy. So, like, how do you actually like go about like learning songs? Like, how long does it take for you to like learn a song, like to play with the guitar itself?
If I'm okay, so people tell me they want to hear me sing a song. Yeah. I'll automatically put it in a playlist and I will listen to it. If I like the song enough to where I connect with it, I will learn it.
Mm-hmm. Are you currently learning one right now?
I'm learning quite a few right now, actually. Let's see, I'm learning "Come and Get Higher" or whatever. "Come and Get Higher" by some, I don't remember his name. Yeah, no, but I got a couple. Doing the "Feeling Good" by Nina
Simone?
Yes, Nina Simone.
Oh, that shit. I know I'm feeling. That helps if you have like a big orchestra.
Like a whole playlist. It's just it's longer than my actual set list. So if I like the song, I'll sit down and learn it. If they're like, I'm gonna be at your show. Mm-hmm. If they meet me at a show on a Friday and be like, I'm gonna be at your show on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I want to hear you sing this song. I will sit down on Saturday.
Yeah.
And spend 3 hours just playing the song over and over again.
Oh, so like even like new songs, like songs that say like I don't know how to play this, like well I want you to play it for this shit, like you
exactly.
So like you're on a deadline, then like
it's a part of the job. You got to be able to play. You got to be able to learn things. Because I mean, I met a guy. His name is Mike Stone, who's another local local celebrity.
Yeah.
He was like, I want to see how serious you are about this. Learn I can't remember the. Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yeah.
It's a song that I can't sing because it's out of my range.
Yeah.
And also a song that I wouldn't sing anyway because I mean it doesn't really transcribe.
Played out. Like I hate like when people like it's like God. This is like the 200th time I heard someone like sing Journey. Like.
And there was another song by like the Black Eyed Peas that he wanted me to learn. He was like, I want you to learn these 2 songs, not because I mean they're good songs, but like it's because it's like, songs that people know.
Yeah. Oh, popular songs. Yeah, okay. So you like to play more obscure songs that people may not have heard. Honestly, I feel like the same way. Like people label me as like a car DJ or something because I always want to play like songs that maybe like people in the car may never have heard before. But like it's like, oh, play that new Cardi B song or some shit like that. It's like, bitch, relax.
I'm not gonna lie
like,
though.
Turn on the radio. You can listen to that later.
Sometimes when I play songs, I will like discreetly slip in one of the most emo songs that I know, and people will love it.
What song is it?
Okay, so let's see. Like, I'll play Asking Alexandria songs. I'll play Someone Somewhere or Moving On by Asking Alexandria. Or that song that you played where my voice was really high. That's a.
Do you still perform that song like at your shows now too?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
So, but like, you perform it completely different now because your voice has changed, right?
Yeah, but that's a wonderful thing. Between the vocal control that I have with my voice now and the acting, I can change my voice. I could have a really deep voice if I wanted to.
Yeah,
I could talk like this if I wanted to.
Do you ever perform songs like in a deep voice or intentionally deeper voice than normal?
I've actually never performed a song.
I'd imagine that'd be hard to like try to keep a deep voice while trying to sing, while trying to play the guitar, while trying to like interact with the crowd.
It's actually not that hard because when I'm at home, sometimes I'll sing. What's the song? Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And I'll sing it in a deep voice. And I can't help falling in love with you.
Dang. So do you play that at like some shows yourself too? Like,
oh yeah, no, I play it all the time. It's,
so like you do play with like deeper voices, like you play around with your voice a little bit, like on certain songs, right?
Oh yeah. So if I sing certain songs, I'll throw in like a deep note, like a bass note, or I'll get really high, like I'll hit a soprano note really well. But it's all about you got to take them on a roller coaster. You can't sing in one range the entire song. You know? Yeah.
Well, so like what about accents? Because I know you like we talked about earlier, you could do like a British accent, but if like say you had to do something like Ed Sheeran rapping, like cover songs like that, like are you able to do something like that with like Ed Sheeran when he's rapping a little bit? Do it in like would you do it in an accent like he does?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes people do say sometimes it sounds like I have some sort of accent, almost British, when I pronounce certain things. But it's because like if I learn an Ed Sheeran song, I'm singing it
in English. Like,
in English, kind of. So you'll hear it sometimes. It's not noticeable unless you're looking for it.
Exactly. Like you have to like consciously be like trying to listen for it.
But if he's rapping, I don't sound like him. I sound like me. Yeah. But unfortunately, me kind of sounds like Eminem. So,
so you sound like Eminem trying to be Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, something like that. Which I mean, I'm not trying to sound like Eminem. It's just the way I sound when I rap is fast paced and the flow is simple.
Eminem raps fast, so obviously, like when you have to rap fast, it will sound a little bit towards it because you don't have enough time to like enunciate your verbs or words correctly in that. I mean, I'm telling you, right? That's so interesting. Like, I haven't made out to one of your shows yet, but definitely, I'm planning on coming to the show. Like, definitely, me, Andre, everyone, we're gonna date open up soon on your next show. Please send us so we could. We'd love to see you guys live. So you perform by yourself, right? You don't have any band?
It's just me.
Just you. So just you and the guitar or something like that. Man, that's like I said. You got to set pieces. Like you're playing for what 3 hours at a time. Like how? Like do you ever run out of songs to play?
Never. I stretch songs out. I'll sing the chorus a couple times. I get the audience involved. They're like, okay, sing this part for me, and I'm gonna sing this. Or I'll mix songs together. Songs.
Yeah. Do you ever create like mashups with like certain songs?
Oh yeah. If I don't know all the words to one song, but it kind of fits. Like if I sing "Don't" by Ed Sheeran, I'll sing it. There's a mashup he does where he sings "Don't." These girls ain't loyal. And then "No Diggity." And then to another song.
Ed Sheeran does that shit all the time. Like all his interviews, he does one of his songs, then he'll pop into another song and stuff like that. I honestly, I love it.
And I try to do that. Like I'll mix songs together. I'll stretch things out. I'll talk to the audience. You don't even have to. You could talk for 5 minutes, and if you have captured the audience, it does not matter.
Yeah.
if you have their attention, if they are interacting with you, then it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. And regardless on whether I run out of songs, I can always start my playlist.
Yeah, exactly.
Because by the time 3 hours is done, like I played in Sandhills for an entire day from like 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I go to Sandhills, I sit in front of Indigo Blue Gallery, or I did, and I would sit there and I would play from 12 to 9. And I would just shuffle my songs all the day. And I mean, the same people aren't going to be there all day. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. It's new. It's new people. When I'm downtown, if I happen to get there early, if I get there at 9 o'clock and I play all the way till 1, I only have about 3 hours and 59 minutes worth of music, which is right about that same time. Yeah. But if I run out of songs, if I skip over songs that I don't really want to play that day, I'll just shuffle the playlist again and I'll start new. I'll sing the same songs but in a different order.
Yeah. So it's like, is there like a song, like a favorite song that you have that you just love performing, like all your shows or something like that?
Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. It is the main song. It's kind of, okay, when I was playing at DeFuskie's, they made a flyer where they said Colombia's pop icon. Yeah. Or the Asian Ed Sheeran. That was literally in a flyer. Now that I think back on it, it was in a flyer. Because that is my favorite song. I love Ed Sheeran, so I learned so many of his songs.
Yeah. They're great with acoustics too. So that's like your is that the song that a lot of people react to the most?
Oh yeah, I love when I play that song. Okay, so the 3 main songs that I play now are "Thinking Out Loud" by Ed Sheeran, "Tennessee Whiskey"
by
Chris Stapleton, and "Hallelujah."
Oh shit!
But I do the Pentatonics version, but I add my guitar to it. So
I haven't heard that. The only version I know is the. I don't know if it's the same version then, because how do they?
There's so many different versions.
Because that song is so good, but it's like there's like 50 different versions of that one.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's just but when I sing "Thinking Out Loud," I add Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On" to it.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I add the first verse of Marvin Gaye after the second verse of "Thinking Out Loud."
Actually. So
it's mashups. I do mashups. I stretch out the songs. And I love seeing people getting up to dance.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
The first show that I played in Easley, South Carolina at the Hideout, I performed that song 3 times. In the middle of my set, I performed it with Cory, and I'll send you a video with that. You guys can take a look at that. But I mean, I got really into it. And I performed it like at the very end as I was getting off stage. I was like, I'm going to play one more song with you. I know you already heard this, but I really love this song. People got up and started dancing.
Damn.
It was great. At Indigo Blue Gallery, I played that. I'll say, if you're here with your significant other, everybody, if you're here with a significant other, raise your hand. We got 5 couples in the audience. Take them by the hand. Get up. Come up here in front. You know, and don't be afraid to dance. Don't be afraid to clap. Don't be afraid to sing along. You know, I love seeing the audience interact with this.
Yeah, because that's something you don't get when you're in films, right? Because it's just you, like the crew and the camera, right? Oh, yeah. But when you're performing, it's like they were saying the same thing when they when you're the guys when we were talking about when they perform in theater, it's that one take, one shot. There's no cut. There's no let's do that.
There's no redos.
There's no retakes. You're right there in that moment. That moment that will never happen again. Probably because nothing will happen exactly the same ever again in that moment. And you're just trying to capture that moment for that one time, and then it's just like something. I want to say that's why I always wanted to do theater back in high school because film is great. And I love doing films and stuff like that, but there's nothing quite like giving that energy to live performances when you see someone performing and just trying to get your attention and stuff. Like that energy that you get makes you, I don't know. I want to say it's something that like I said, you'll never see that again. Because even the same performance, you perform it 100 different times, 100 different ways. It'll be different one way or another. And that's one of the most beautiful things I've seen about live performances. And honestly, that's why I can only imagine what an artist might feel when they're performing like that, when they're seeing people dance, people interact. That's the instant gratification you get. They're liking what I'm doing.
They're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just something that's so crazy, man. That's why I love watching people perform on stage in theater, music, anything in aspects like that, even dancing.
And even when I'm busking, when I play downtown at the Soda City Market. thinking out loud is what makes people turn their heads. The moment I hit that chorus, like it.
It's like he's Asian.
People will stop. Like I love, because I don't want to like brag, but like I can draw a crowd downtown. Bringing people around me with the cell phone. You know, it feels good because the kids will come up and they'll stand in front of me, just stare up at me, or they'll start dancing. There's this little girl, I haven't seen her in a while, but she would come, and every time I would sing, she would just start like doing ballet in front of me. And I was like, yeah.
That's crazy. It's like when you're busking, like, do you ever see like other people busking around you too? Like, do you guys ever feel like, hey, let's play something together or something? Like, because there were like tons of videos like this guy who travels with a piano playing, and then he sees a girl who's busking with a violin. They just start playing like just the two of us together. And like, it's not so crazy like that. Has that ever happened, like where you like might bump into another musician, you guys just like spontaneously just start jamming out or something like that?
It has happened a lot. I don't go out of my way to find people. But if it happens, it happens. Like the other week, I had a girl come up and was like, I normally play down here, but I'm just walking around this week. Can I play a song with you? I was like, yeah. You totally do this.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so cool. It's like, and it's so much better than like performances. Like you have like a set list, you have an amount of time here, but when you're busting, it's just like you're just having fun out there. And like if you have to make something, you make something. But it's like what do you enjoy most though? You like busking, you like performance, like, or are they just two different things that you enjoy, or is it like something like more distinctive about the other?
I think I enjoy busking more than I actually do performing. Even though I'm getting paid for performing.
Exactly.
I enjoy busking because there's more connection for me. Mm-hmm. When I'm performing, there's only a little group of people that are in that building at that time. And there might be more people coming in and people leaving and stuff like that. But busking, there's always people around me, always people stopping, always people like listening. Yeah. It's just a different feeling on its own. So.
Let them know too, Alessandra, it's out currently, right? Where can they find that?
You're going to be able to find it on Apple Music, so that's iTunes, Spotify, hopefully all major platforms.
Yeah, so they'll be able to stream it, download it, and everything like that, right?
Yeah, and hopefully, if you're listening to this, I will have a website up that you guys can look at. I will send a link.
If you follow through, the link should be popping up right on your screen right now. But tell the people your stage name one more time.
My stage name is also my real name. My name is Supachai.
That is his real name.
I am the real Supachai. So, my name is Supachai. I played Ezra in Black the Short, and I want to thank everyone for having me out here and listening to everything I had to say. It's been a pleasure. This busy little city is the only place we've ever known. Yeah, we stay.